Welcome to the KJL Podcast Channel. I'm your host, Kenneth J Lewis Sr., and today we're diving into the life and legacy of one of America's most influential African-American artists, Henry Ossawa Tanner. Before we get started, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Early life and education. Henry Ossawa Tanner's story begins in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he was born in 1859. This was a period marked by intense racial tensions in the United States, a time when the country was divided deeply over issues of race and slavery. Tanner's background is particularly notable because of his parents' extraordinary lives. His father was a bishop in the African Methodist Episcopal Church, a prominent position that placed him at the forefront of the fight for civil rights. Meanwhile, his mother's journey was equally compelling. She was a former slave who had barely escaped to freedom via the Underground Railroad. Now, growing up in such a segregated society, one might assume that Tanner would face insurmountable obstacles in pursuing his passions. But from a young age, Tanner was captivated by the art. This passion wasn't just a hobby, it was a driving force in his life. It led him to enroll in the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts, where he had the privilege of studying under Thomas Eakins, a man who was considered one of America's leading realist painters. Eakins' influence on Tanner was profound, helping to shape Tanner's approach to art and encouraging him to break through barriers that society had placed in his path. Challenges and triumphs in America. Despite his undeniable talent, Henry Ossawa Tanner faced significant racial discrimination throughout his career in the United States. It's disheartening to think about how much potential was stifled simply because of the color of his skin. In the late 19th century, the American art world, much like the rest of the world, was deeply segregated. Black artists were often denied the opportunities and recognition they deserved, and Tanner was no exception. His incredible ability to convey emotions and depth in his paintings was frequently overshadowed by the pervasive racial biases of his time. Frustrated by these barriers, Tanner made the bold decision to move to Paris in 1891. It was a life-changing move. In France, Tanner found a more accepting and inclusive artistic community, one that recognized his talent regardless of his race. This new environment allowed him to thrive both personally and professionally. His move to Paris wasn't just an escape from racism, it was a strategic decision that ultimately led to him becoming the first African-American painter to gain international acclaim. In France, Tanner's work began to receive the attention it deserved. His paintings like The Banjo Lesson and The Thankful Poor became iconic. These works were more than just art, they were powerful statements about the dignity and the humanity of African-American life. Tanner's ability to capture the quiet strength and resilience of his subjects resonated deeply with audiences. Throughout his work, Tanner not only found his own voice, but also gave a voice to those who had long been marginalized. His success abroad served as a testament to his talent and determination, and it remains an inspiring story of triumph over adversity. Tanner's religious themes. Tanner's art is a powerful testament to the significant role religion played in his life. Rooted in the deeply spiritual environment in which he was raised, This influence is evident throughout his career, especially in the pieces he created after moving to France. In France, Tanner found the freedom to more fully express his connection to biblical themes. This period led to the creation of some of the most revered works, including the Annunciation and Daniel in the Lion's Den. These paintings are not just artistic achievements, they are windows into Tanner's soul, reflecting his profound spiritual beliefs. As we look at Annunciation, notice how Tanner uses light to create a divine atmosphere. The angel is bathed in a warm, glowing light, symbolizing the holy presence, while Mary's calm and reflective demeanor captures the solemnity of the moment. Now, turning to Daniel in the Lion's Den, observe how Tanner uses shadow and light to convey tension and faith. The dimly lit den contrasts with the light softly illuminating Daniel's face, highlighting his steadfast trust in God despite the anger surrounding him. These works are perfect examples of Tanner's ability to use light and color not just to depict a scene, but to evoke deep spiritual emotions. The powerful contrast between Henry Tanner's painting The Banjo Lesson and the harmful legacy of minstrel shows. Tanner's artwork, painted in 1893, portrays an elderly African-American man teaching his grandson to play the banjo. This intimate and respectful scene stands in stark opposition to the racist caricatures popularized by minstrel shows which use blackface to demean African Americans. Minstrel shows, with their grotesque exaggerations and offensive stereotypes, perpetuated a distorted image of African American life. These performances reduced a rich culture to mere entertainment, of stripping away the dignity and humanity of its subjects. In stark contrast, Tanner's painting presents a moment of profound tenderness and respect. The banjo, central to the painting, symbolizes a cultural heritage that minstrel shows trivialize, but Tanner elevated through its genuine representation. By focusing on the personal bond between grandfather and grandson, Tanner's work humanizes its subjects and underscores the value of family tradition. His portrayal counters the dehumanizing effects of minstrel shows, offering a dignified and nuanced depiction of African American life. This shift not only challenges the racial stereotypes perpetuated by entertainment of the time, but also highlights the importance of authentic representation. Tanner's impact extends beyond his lifetime, influencing future generations, including his own descendants. The legacy of his respectful and humanizing portrayal of African Americans provides a model for artists and storytellers. It suggests that while entertainment and media can perpetuate harmful stereotypes, they also hold the power to transform perceptions and elevate cultural narratives. In reflecting on Tanner's work and the legacy of minstrel shows, we see the profound impact that art can have on societal views. Tanner's paintings not only enriched our understanding of African American culture, but also paved the way for more respectful and accurate representations in the arts. Legacy and influence. Tanner's impact on the art world truly cannot be overstated. He was a trailblazer, not just for African American artists, but for anyone who has ever felt marginalized or underestimated. In a time when racial barriers were at their highest, Tanner's success proved that artistic talent knows no bounds, no race, and no societal constraints. His work was a statement that art transcends these artificial barriers. You know what's particularly remarkable is the recognition Tanner received during his lifetime. His pieces are now held in some of the most prestigious collections worldwide. Institutions like the Louvre in Paris and the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. These aren't just museums, they're cultural beacons. The fact that Tanner's work is part of their permanent collections speaks volumes about his influence and the universal appeal of his art. But Tanner's legacy isn't just about his own success. It's about the doors he opened for future generations. He laid the foundation for African American artists to step into the spotlight, to have their voices heard, and to have their talents recognized on a global stage. Today, many artists continue to draw inspiration from Tanner's journey. They challenge societal norms, push the boundaries of what art can express, and continue the work of expressing truths that need to be told. Tanner's spirit lives on in each brushstroke, each canvas, and each story told through art. Personal reflections and relevance today. As an artist myself, Henry Ossawa Tanner's story resonates deeply with me. Tanner was more than just a painter. He was a pioneer, breaking barriers in an era where African American artists were rarely recognized or celebrated. His journey was not an easy one, facing both racial prejudice and the challenges of being an artist in a time when the odds were stacked against him. Yet through it all, Tanner remained steadfast in his commitment to his craft. What strikes me most about Tanner is his perseverance. Despite the adversity he faced, he never allowed it to define him or his work. Instead, he challenged his experiences into his art, creating pieces that not only showcased his technical brilliance, but also carried profound messages about faith, resilience, and the human condition. In today's world, Tanner's work remains as relevant as ever. We still grapple with issues of race, identity, and belonging, and Tanner's art serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring struggle for equality. His paintings, particularly those that depict scenes of African American life with dignity and grace, challenge us to look beyond our differences and see the shared humanity that connects us all. For me, Tanner's legacy is a testament to the power of art to bridge divides, to heal, and to inspire. His story is one of triumph in the face of adversity, and it continues to inspire artists like myself to push forward, to create, and to use our work as a force for positive change in the world. In conclusion, thank you for joining me on this journey through the life and art of Henry Ossawa Tanner, one of the most influential African American artists of the 19th and early 20th century. His story is a powerful reminder of the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of art. Through his work, Tanner broke barriers and challenged societal norms, creating a legacy that continues to inspire artists and art lovers alike. This has been the Art History episode on the KJL Podcast Channel, where we delve deep into the lives and legacies of history's greatest artists. If you enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on all things art history, Art with Kenneth, and the KJL Podcast Channel. So until next time, I'm Kenneth J Lewis Sr., and this is the KJL Podcast Channel. Stay inspired and keep creating. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm your host, Kenneth Lewis Sr. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to show love by liking, sharing, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. Your engagement helps us grow, and reach more listeners just like you. And we're grateful for every moment you spend with us. Until next time, stay inspired and keep creating.